What's happening, you guys? This is your boy Creative D Will, your everyday creative dad. Welcome to the channel and thank you guys for tuning in. Today we got a fairly simple video. We're gonna be taking a look at how to actually quantize inside the Maschine software as well as on the hardware. So without further ado, let's dive in and let's get creative. Alright, you guys, welcome back. So as you can see, I got an instance of Maschine pulled up here and I got a kit loaded up. Don't laugh at my finger drumming. Anyway, so what is quantize? What does that mean? Quantize has to do with these grid values right here and time. So as you can see right here, I have different. When I changed that, it changed the grid values to like 1/2, 1/4, boom, 1/8, 16, so forth and so on. So whenever you quantizing and you're playing these, you're playing in different timing, right? And quantization, what that does is it snaps it back to this grid. So I'm gonna go ahead and play some notes real quick, and you're gonna see that when I play these notes, they're gonna be off. They're not gonna be on, like perfectly on this grid. They're gonna be a little bit off. So. All right, so I'm gonna stop that. You see how when I played it, I didn't play it perfect. All these notes are off. Now, quantization, when I hit shift and pad 5 says quantize. If I hit shift and quantize, it's gonna snap all of these notes to that specific grid. So boom. You see, now everything is spot on, right? I'm gonna shift and undo that. So right next to pad 5, there's pad 6 was quantization or quantize at 50%. So all it does is just quantizes it, but only a little bit, half of what it would fully quantize to that snap to that grid. So I'm gonna show you. Boom, if I hit that, you see it's still not perfectly aligned with these lines right here, but they are pretty close. It's just quantized it 50% of the way to this note from how far it was away from, from this line, how far it was away. I hope that makes sense. That kind of sounded not fully making sense in my head coming out. So anyway, pretty much it's not perfectly snapped to the grid. All right, that makes sense. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and hit play. You hear the metronome? Right? So if I hit shift, quantize, boom, now all those notes are spot on. Sounds kind of robotic, right? So quantization, you got to be careful because it can cause your music to kind of sound stiff, no movement, doesn't sound natural, because we as human beings do not play naturally to the grid, right? There's going to be some type of notes that are off, played slightly out of time, and that's okay. That gives swing, that gives groove, and that gives all the naturalness. Now, if you're snapping to the grid, you got to make sure whatever timing you're playing, that you account for it. Let me go right here. I'm gonna shift to undo, shift to undo, shift to, okay, shift and redo. All right, so if I come over here and say I'm gonna snap to 30-second notes, right? This is it's still gonna be a little bit off because it's snapping to the nearest note. So you got to make sure you are changing the grid to the timing that you're playing stuff in. So boom, if I hit shift and quantize, you see how it's still off? That's because it snapped to the closest line, which is this right here, that this note was, since I played it off, it was closer to this line than that line. So you got to make sure you're selecting the correct timing in which you're playing stuff in. So if I come over here and select the 4th, boom, hit quantize, it's gonna, obviously, because I played everything in the 4th, right? And if I did the same thing over here to 8th, let me shift and undo, boom, is all these notes are closest to, boom, that grid value, boom. So keep that in mind whenever you're doing quantization. All right, so I'm gonna go shift undo that. To turn this snap to grid feature off, you just hit this hashtag button down here. Boom. And now when I move everything, I can move it freely, right? Boom. If I had this on, when I move anything, it's gonna go to the closest line, that eighth, since it's in the eighth, right? Boom, it's gonna go to that closest line. So it's snapping to the grid. I can't move it anywhere else but to the right lines, right? So we turn that off if you want to move these notes freely. Another tip, if you have that on and you are actually in note repeat, boom, then that's weird. I don't know why it's doing that. Oh, I'm tripping because I got swing on. I'm like, yo, why does it sound like that? Oh, dumb moment. Oh no. Oh, got the whole group trying to swing. You can hear that it was causing it to sound like it wasn't playing perfectly snap to the grid. So now that's the 16th note. 8th note. All right. So if I go right here and I hit shift record and I got note repeat on, it's going to automatically quantize. Those are going to play perfectly to the grid no matter what you do. Because you're playing the eighth notes, right? You got to select it right here. So that is note repeat and it automatically quantize it. And the last bonus tip is you go to preferences here and say, like, what I typically do is I cheat. I come over here to quantize and I turn on play and record. That means that even when I play, I can't play out of time, right? But you gotta make sure if I'm playing like 16th notes, I gotta make sure I got 16th notes on, because let me show you. If I don't, I'm not playing it perfect, but everything is snapping to the grid. But it only let me play 16th note. You see how I'm going fast? But it's not letting me play. You know what I mean? It's snapping directly to the grid. So it's trying to snap to that 16th note. So if you come over here to preferences, boom. This is a 9-minute video. Probably gonna cut some of this stuff out. And you can change the quantize value. I got it to play and record. So even if I play it, it'll play it in time. Even if I hit shift and record, it'll snap to the grid. As well as record, it'll just record and snap to the grid whenever you hit record, but it'll allow you to play it freely. So, all right, so that's pretty much it. Very simple. How you quantize inside the machine. You hit shift, pad 5 for quantize, and pad 6 for quantize at 50%. It's that simple. So that's pretty much it, man. You guys be awesome, be creative. Oh, also, make sure you guys hit that like button, hit that thumbs up, hit that notification bell, hit that subscribe thing so you guys won't miss anything, any new content, man. I am back. Been gone for about 30 days because I'm doing another journey. I'm going to tell you guys all about it once I'm done with it. But anyways, thank you guys for tuning in. Be awesome, be creative, but don't let anybody stop you from doing what you want to do. Anything is possible. Till next time, deuces.